To see this kid from this movie exposed the government by explaining how they control us.
Leadership in government is political power, and political power is an official form of antagonizing the people.
What magazine did you say he edits? Politics are necessary.
Politics are rules imposed upon the people.
In this country, rules are not imposed. They are the wish of all free citizens.
Travel around a bit, then you'll see how free they are. They have every man in a straitjacket, and without a passport, he can't move a toe. In a free world, they violate the natural rights of every citizen. They have become the weapons of political despots. And if you don't think as they think, you're deprived of your passport. To leave a country is like breaking out of jail.
Yes,
and to enter a country is like going through the eye of a needle. Am I free to travel?
Of course you're free to travel.
Only with a passport.
Will you allow me to say something?
Only with a passport.
My man was speaking some truth, huh? Oh, welcome y'all back to the channel. I want to thank you for joining me today. We're going to talk about a few things in this video. And it'll be a variety of things. So I hope you guys like it. If you enjoy, please leave a like on the video. Leave me a comment down below as well. And please subscribe to the channel because we will be back tomorrow with another one. Enjoy.
Really want to do something and believe in it, you have to keep at it. And don't give up. Yeah, you're afraid you're going to fail, but you'll fail if you never try. You'll never know what you could have accomplished. And we don't worry about any part of it anymore. The next thing we need, the next thing we have to have in our business or whatever it is, you don't worry about how it's going to happen, where the money's going to come from. You don't worry about any of that. We just put it out, and then we said we just sit back and watch the magic. They will do things in ways you could never, ever imagine. If you really...
So the universe has our back, right? That's a part of believing in yourself and just doing what you want to do, no matter how hard it is, no matter how tired you are. Just get up and continue to push forward. This is a good message from Miss Dolores. And if you haven't checked out her videos, please do. She is quite an interesting character, okay?
3 things now that will start rewiring neural pathways. Please go. Get up in the morning, go straight into the bathroom. If you brush your teeth with your right hand, start brushing with the left. Look into the mirror. Now we're talking to the subconscious brain. Eye to eye in the mirror and say, I love you 10 times. When you finish that, let's get some oxygen inside you to start the day. Exaggerated breaths to start the day.
How many breaths?
I always tell my guys do 25 in the morning, 25 lunchtime, 25 in the evening.
Okay, so left-handed teeth brushing.
Yes.
Look straight in the eye in the mirror. I love you, I love you, I love you 10 times.
Yes.
And exaggerated breaths.
Will change your life.
Will change your life.
Do them 3 things. If your life doesn't change that day, give me a call. I'll send you $100 for wasting your time. Never happened yet.
This is a brain exercise to help strengthen your right hemisphere, left hemisphere. And the way he explains it is kind of interesting. It's the first time I've, had someone do that technique. Okay. So, try it out and see how it goes. And then come back and let me know in the comments.
According to the book of Enoch, which is one of the apocryphal books left out of the Bible, but he's important because he's mentioned in the Bible. These beings came from heaven to earth. And then they have names. They taught human beings technology, how to make weapons, how to even make beer and all this other crazy stuff. And then they took Enoch on a trip to the Earth's atmosphere and beyond. And he saw the Earth and the shape of the planet as a sphere, and how he saw that he was living on a giant ball, and then brought him back. The only Bible that has the book of Enoch in it is the Ethiopian Bible. It's the only Bible in the world that actually incorporated the book of Enoch into their canonized text. The rest of the Bibles omitted the book of Enoch.
So how many of you guys have actually read the book of Enoch? Have you ever been privy to it? I personally have not. It is one of those books that I would gladly like to get my hands on. I would love to read it. However, the information that I have heard about Enoch was that he was half human, half Anunnaki. And Anunnaki just means that it was someone who came from heaven to earth. So they were not of this planet, right? So that means his parents, probably mixed and mingled, and they had an offspring, and it was Enoch. And then I also heard that along his life, Enoch started off as a bad dude. He wasn't always this good person. But I feel like over time he changed his life, and he made a difference in the world. So very interesting. You guys, let me know if you have read the book of Enoch.
Thing we think comes into existence. So only think things that you want to come into existence. How you think creates how you feel. How you feel becomes an emotion. That emotion becomes a vibration. That vibration becomes a magnet that attracts things to you. So you got to protect your mind, and you got to know it takes 3 minutes for your body to produce a hormone. Your thoughts produce chemicals. So you got a built-in CVS. You got a built-in pharmacy inside of your body. So when you think about something for 3 minutes or more, I'm great, I'm great, I'm great, I'm great. You said it. What's the word? What's the word? Dopamine. Dopamine. Your body is going to produce that naturally. 3 minutes or more with a thought that can activate that in your body. And then that chemical, that hormone becomes an emotion. That emotion becomes a vibration. That vibration becomes a magnet that attracts things to you. So create the world you want to live in, because you're creating the world that you're living in. So create the world that you want to live in, because you're creating the world that you live in.
This is amazing. The way he explained it was absolutely perfect. This is another example of the law of attraction. And he just broke it down just a little bit more, including like your physical self, right? Physiology. By basically explaining what happens when you are wanting to manifest something. And I thought that was quite cool. That's quite cool. So I wanted to share it with you guys.
We are creating it collectively. I think collective consciousness creates reality, even though we have a certain amount of control over our own reality tunnels. So there's a tunnel that we ourselves can control to a certain point, to a certain extent. And so within that tunnel, we have the Hermetic principle of cause and effect, which, goes and is actually going to be talked about in some of my parts of the book. And so we're talking about decisions that you make, and every decision you make will have a consequence. Whether it's a good consequence or a bad consequence, that decision will have a consequence. And so when you're in this reality tunnel that you have access to, you're basically able to create ripples in space-time that will alter your own future reality in the third dimension based off conscious intent, conscious thought, and energy that you put behind those thoughts and intents. And so that ripple goes out and takes things that are in what we call in physics superposition, multiple realities that can occur, and it kind of slams and isolates one particular reality and brings that into the tunnel where you are, and you are on a trajectory or a collision course directly with that based off of decisions you could have made 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 5 minutes ago, 100 years ago, 1 second ago. It varies as we are living in this moment by moment, third dimensional reality. And so collectively, though, as a global planet, we are all helping to create and manifest reality on this planet based off of what's going on in us, our internal thought, our consciousness, our ideologies, our belief systems, and all of that. And also the amount of fear that we're operating under, the PTSD that we're operating under, the depression that we're operating, all that comes into play with a global connective consciousness, just like the internet. And so you'll see the turmoil manifesting on particular parts of the planet based off of what's happening in the manifestation of the complete consciousness of the planet. It can isolate in different areas, but it doesn't mean particularly those people in those areas caused that trauma. It can be coming from all the collective consciousness. As if you're living in a house and your house, for example, your office desk is all messy and it's trash, and your house is trash and everything else is filthy, that's showing that inside of you, you've filled up with so much trauma and chaos that there's nothing left on the inside, and it spills over to your outside world. And so when you see these things going on like in Afghanistan and what's going on in South Africa and all these other places, we're looking at the spilling up fullness of human consciousness globally, and the spilling over is what's happening on the outside. What starts on the inside then eventually makes it to the outside. It's not the opposite way around. And so it shows us that we still have a lot more work to do. We still have to really tap into the global consciousness. We have to continue to wake people up, raise them up, and we have to continue to teach them about the ancient past, because all these things that are going on now are not new. This is ancient stuff that's been going on for millennia in cycles. And so we have to get people to see into the distant past, so we know, because the past is prologue. And if the past is prologue, if we can go back and access these horrors and these detriments and these tortures and everything else that's gone on, and these bad political systems and everything else, we can isolate them and figure out, where did we go wrong? How can we now see this, understand it, and then correct ourselves so that we can have a better future? I think that's really what we're trying to do, myself and Matt. We're trying to create a better future by tapping into this ancient past and giving people a real idea of what really happened. How can we clean up our consciousness? How can we reprogram ourselves? How can we open up ourselves to understand that change is needed and how to create that change based off of what happened in the ancient past? So that's my take on it. I don't know, Matt may have a slightly different one, but that's what I see.
So Billy starts off the video talking about different timelines, and how then he moves into talking about global consciousness and how we all affect each other, because we're ultimately all one. All of us is one big being, one global thing. No one is separate from the other. We're all the same thing, all the same person. We all have the same thoughts. It's just that reality, or what we see, presents itself differently through the eye, if that makes sense at all. Ultimately, he finishes off talking about the past, present, and the future. And he talks about how the past is already logged. It's already something that we have experienced, something that we've experienced before. And moving into the future, how can we tap in to past things or past dealings to ultimately make a better future for ourselves and for our children? And I really do believe that, we all can tap in to a positive, feeling, which will bring a positive action, then that will bring about positivity into the world, right? Now, of course, we've discussed on this channel before that we all possess dark and light. We all have both sides. So it would really be up to us to formulate that and bring it to the forefront, to formulate the positivity, to really concentrate on it, to really meditate on it. If we all did that collectively, then it would bring about a change in a more positive way. I really do believe that. And I think that's what Billy's speaking of here. But let's keep going because we're building.
That Jesus lived. On January 6, 1982, a man by the name of Ron Wyatt reported that he had found the Ark of the Covenant, located 20 feet below Christ's crucifixion site. However, that wasn't the only thing he found that day. Well, you see, Wyatt discovered that the lid of the box containing the Ark had split in two, and a dark, dry substance that had spilt into it. Thinking nothing of it, he brought a sample back to a lab in Israel and later realized what he had found was actually blood. But not just any normal blood. Blood with only 24 chromosomes. Chromosomes coming from the maternal parent. Curious, he put the blood in a growth medium and realized that the blood was still alive. Anxious to find out more, he returned to the discovery site and realized that the substance actually trickled down from where the cross stood, through the rocks, and onto the Ark of the Covenant, leading many to think it was the blood of Jesus, and the substance is proof.
So, do you guys... I believe that Jesus was a real person. I don't necessarily believe that his name was Jesus. I believe that that was a name given to him much later down the line. I also believe that the story in the Bible that's written about Jesus is slightly flawed. I don't believe that's the whole truth. I feel like it's a half truth of, you know, his life experience and who he was and all this kind of stuff. But I definitely believe that he was a real person that walked the earth, roamed the earth. But I don't think that he's necessarily who they wrote about in the Bible per se. Or at least not the story they put behind him, right? But you guys, let me know. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this in particular clip. About the blood being found with the Ark of the Covenant. And if you think that the story of Jesus that they have in the Bible is actually the story. Or just, you know, give me your opinion on it. I would love for you to share. All right, let's keep going.
Sky. As intense forest fires rage in a densely populated area of central Chile. The fast-spreading fires have destroyed hundreds of homes and forced thousands to flee.
It was terrifying. Never in my life have I experienced so much fear as in this situation. My city is on fire. It hurts so much. I am still distraught because my son was very scared.
Many of those affected were visiting the coast during the summer holidays. When the fires struck, rescue teams struggled to reach the area on time.
It hurts me. It hurts my soul, because there was nothing I could do at that moment. But I had to save my son from the fire. Otherwise, there would be 2 more victims.
Authorities have declared a state of emergency in the affected regions. And they say the death toll is likely to rise.
We have said it, and we will say it again. Today's priority is to save lives, as there are still active fires, to assist the injured, and to extinguish fires that are still burning.
Fire has already consumed thousands of hectares of land. The emergency services are now racing to minimize further damage.
Now, I do not want to add any conspiracy here to the theory, but I do want to ask that you guys keep the people of Chile in your prayers, because this devastation is never good. It's not good for any of us. Definitely not the people who it has affected. However, I do want to ask, do you guys feel like this is Maui 2.0? Does it not look eerie similar to what was going on in Hawaii, or to what happened in Hawaii? I mean, I don't want to be disingenuous to these people. Not at all. my heart goes out to them. However, how much of a coincidence is it that this would happen almost in the same geological area halfway across the world, and they have a fire breakout that almost destroys everything, cars, buildings, and all. Something to think about. But you guys let me know in the comments below what you think about this Maui video. I have another clip that I will show you guys as I end the video here. But like I said before, or like I said at the beginning of the video, leave me a like, go ahead and subscribe, and meet me back here tomorrow for another one, okay?